You see, watch collecting is an interesting hobby. Some people collect only from the mainstream brands, and there are others that only collect from the independent brands. I have somebody here today that collects from a wide variety of brands. He has the mainstreams, the independents, and some of the ultra niches and quirky watches too. And all of this without ever being on social media. I have the pleasure of having somebody here on Collecting Quietly. He's a tech sales executive, long-time customer of BWC, and a personal friend, Sidharth Pisharoti. Sid,
Enjoy.
after all these years and after all these months of being at the flagship boutique, we're finally here to sit down and talk about your watches.
Yeah, it's great to be here, and I know we tried once, twice, thrice, but finally we are here, right? At the fourth attempt, we got it right, I guess.
Of course, fourth time is a charm now.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
No, look, I've known you for so many years now, right? So it's kind of hard for me to do this chat. I mean, we've shared work experiences, personal experiences for so many years now, almost 2 decades. I'll try and say, not to say that loud again. But, you know, look, I mean, we've known each other for so many years, so it's going to be hard for me to do this. But I don't think we ever got to sit down and talk about your watches.
Yep.
I think this is the first time we're actually doing a proper segment on the watches. So I'm excited.
Same here, and thanks for having me. Thanks for having me in the boutique. I mean, I've been here a couple of times, but it's great to come here and sit down and have this chat. It's just an absolute pleasure to be here.
I know you've been a man of watches for a long time, yeah? But I want to take you back to the first watch that made it all happen. What's the first one? I know it's here in front of us. It's that little Timex over there.
Yes.
Talk to me about that watch. Tell me how that happened.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really special watch for me because it's the first one, and you know, as you can see, it's a tiny Timex quartz watch. It's a Timex Vista, as the model is called. This was gifted to me by my dad when I completed my 10th standard. So, 10th grade kind of gift, graduation gift, or 10th grade pass out gift, as you can call it. This one, so I always had the fascination for watches and you know, instruments that showed time per se. So it came from my dad. My dad had a career in sales, and every day, I mean, for every young boy, his father is always the hero. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, and my dad was my hero, is my hero, and so every day I would watch him get ready, go to work. You know, and he was a sales guy, so prim and proper, formal dress, watch. So he had you know, a couple of watches he would wear to work. Back then it was HMT and Seiko. I know eventually, many years later, he also had a Titan. But these were the watches he would wear every day and go. And since then, I had the fascination to watches. And also a bit of, my dad also had a couple of clocks at home, which were, at the time, you know, we had a musical clock which showed time, which there was a chime every hour. It had a different music based on the hour and the number of times it would go. For many years we had that at home. Yeah, growing up, seeing my dad and seeing all these wonderful pieces of horology around was what kind of got me into it, and I always wanted a watch. And so when I was big enough to handle one at 10th grade, he got me this.
I would have thought that for somebody who's in tech sales, the first serious watch would either be like a Longines or a Rado or one of those, but you went straight to a brand that's quite understated. Both you and I have shared love for this brand, Baume Mercier. I love the Clifton. I think I've spoken about it a few times in the past as a dress watch, but you went for the Riviera, which is kind of off the left field, isn't it? Tell me how this happened.
So this one was an anniversary gift. So on my first wedding anniversary, my wife Ekta, she gifted this to me. So she asked me what I wanted, and of course she knew my love for watches, and she said, okay, we'll get you one. And so we went into one of the multi-brand Swiss boutiques here in Bangalore, and we looked at multiple watches. And you are right, most of the watches we looked at were Rado or Longines. And she was actually tilting towards the Longines and saying, hey, we should look at it. But thanks to the sales consultant, he did pull out. He said, hey, these are all great watches, but here's a brand that you probably have not heard much of. And this is 2011, right? So it's a while ago. Take a look at it. And he did explain to me about Riviera and the history of the brand and just the model itself. The Riviera model itself, has been around for a long time, since the early 70s, if I'm not mistaken. So he was explaining about that, and it had that catchy feel, right, with the integrated rubber, the chronograph being there, and very, very Genta-like design, right, in some ways. And he was like, hey, he said something which I still remember. He explained it like, hey, if you buy the Longines, it was like buying the fully loaded Honda City. But if you buy this, it's like you're buying an entry-level German car, right? Something to that effect, right? He gave an analogy.
Stuck with you.
And that I still, so he gave me a car analogy, and he's like, but it's up to you. And, so I like this better. And then, here we are, right? And I absolutely love it.
I love this design because, as you said, it's an integrated rubber band. It's got a nice deploying clasp, right? The watch has got a heft to it. It's an automatic chronograph. It's got tri-compacts. It's nicely laid out. I believe it's probably built on a 7750 or something architecture. It's got a nice date on the 3 o'clock. A Genta-esque design language with they didn't even miss the screws on the bezel.
Correct.
But I think it's nice. I think it's a cool watch, finished very well. It's got a nice balance to it. It's a good choice. I do want to shift gears slightly and talk about how every milestone was marked with an interesting purchase, right? And I know you and I talked about it in the past. Talk to me about the Rolex siblings, right?
Yeah.
Talk to me about that milestone. We have two beautiful watches here. Walk me through this.
Yeah, this is what they call the most accessible Rolex, but I don't know if it's really accessible. I don't think you can walk into a store and buy one of these, but it's the OP41. This is the model where they changed the OPs from the OP39 to the 41 a few years back. And so my wife and I, we turned 40 the same year. So we wanted to kind of celebrate that with something. And so we bought these sibling Rolexes in the same color. As you can see, the green dial. So this is the 41, the first what you're holding, and then this is the smaller 32.
Yeah. Same dial color.
Same dial
got quite lucky to get the same dial color, no?
We got really lucky, I think. We wanted the same dial color, and so we obviously got lucky with this. But I would say that it is a bit of a challenge and a little bit of an anxious thing to do if you want to celebrate a milestone with a Rolex, because you may be over that milestone by the time you get it.
By a few years.
In my case, it was a few months, but luckily, it was still in the same year, so it was okay. But yeah, really lucky and thankful to that I was able to. We were able to get this.
But look, I think as much as you've been buying the mainstream brands, and there's a couple of more mainstream which are incredibly good watches that I want to talk about, you also started moving at some point towards the more niche,
Yeah.
the more independent side of the house, right?
Yeah.
How did that happen? Like, what was the first time you started discovering independence?
Yeah. So I think there are, again, it goes back, for me, two things matter a lot when I'm buying a watch, right? One is the uniqueness of the watch, right? And second is the dial itself and the story with the watch, right? So, second and third, right? Like, so second is the dial, third is, what's the story. So I think I started discovering independence honestly through BWC, right? Through Bangalore Watch Company, and in fact, even before the company was formed, through conversations with you, like we've had many conversations around watches, independent watch companies, etc. So I think obviously it was quite obvious that when BWC came about, I wanted to make sure that I had the first watch.
Yeah. No, look.
And yeah, it's through I would say the first real independent or a watch brand that I had was BWC and Renaissance, the watch itself. Yeah.
There's a bunch of other independents here that caught my eye, but let's talk about the Renaissance since you brought up the BWC story. This is the Renaissance automatic in an argentum dial, right, with the rose gold indices, 40 millimeters. This is our first watch. It's in great shape. I mean, it's been 8 years since you purchased it. And I mean, you maintain all your watches, I must say, in great shape. But this is serial number 1.
Yes.
This is serial number 1 of 500.
Correct.
The first watch that rolled out of our production line, and the first watch that we ever made.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You want to tell me that story of when somebody was trying to show off their Renaissance in the elevator?
Yeah. No, I think before that I should say that when the thought of a company came to your mind, I think starting a watch brand came to your mind. I said, hey, if you ever do it, I need serial number 1. And I think you kept that promise, and you could have, I mean, anybody could have been serial number 1, but I'm so happy and privileged that I feel privileged that I got serial number 1. Yeah, I think I was in an elevator, and there was the story is like one of the common friends that we have showed off their Renaissance, and they were like, hey, here's I got this watch, and I think it was serial numbers 20 or something like that, 25 or something. And then I showed him my watch, and I'm like, hey, I have number 1. Like, it's the first watch that ever came out.
And then the elevator went quiet?
Yeah, the elevator went quiet, and they were not very happy. But in all seriousness, I think the reason was not because of getting number 1 or anything like that, but the whole reason was because I believed in the brand, right? I believed in the story of what the brand was trying to say. And we've talked for numerous hours before you started the brand, and I knew what was in a lot of sense what was coming, and what to expect, right? And the moment it was going to come out, I said, no, I need you to keep that promise, and that's how I discovered micros.
Sid, we've talked about the BWC discovery.
Yep.
Right? I mean, it was more of something that was forced on you than a discovery. Because your friend started a watch company. But that being said, there's also been a beautiful journey on independence, right? I want to talk about, you said the thing that you love about independence is the quality that you get for the price. The fact that it's unique and you don't have thousands of those in the wild, I think that matters. And I think there's one independent here that I do want to talk about. And it's a watch that's also something that I really like. And that's your Kurono Tokyo, right? Tell me this story. And I think, if I remember correctly, you almost had to start a shipping company
to get this here.
to find a way to bring this to India, right?
Yes.
Tell me this story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to those who know the brand, this is a brand started by Hajime-san. I mean, he's one of the most sought after independent watchmakers in Japan. He runs another brand which is an independent watch company where it's a made-to-order watch.
Hajime Asoka.
Hajime Asoka. So obviously that's way way beyond at this point to get. But then he started Kurono Tokyo with this whole philosophy that, hey, I also want people who can't really get because he only makes one watch or two watches in the Hajime Asoka brand. So he's like, hey, I want to make watches for more accessible watches, and I will try and kind of give similar finishes that I give in the independent one, but obviously the movement, etc., would be very standard ones, right? So, and even these are so sought after because it's again Hajime's design, Hajime-san's design. So yeah, discovered the brand and really wanted one, and this is one of their anniversary editions. So every year they make a anniversary edition, and it's all different colors.
It's a beautiful salmon.
I mean, this is the salmon.
Three-hander, nice vintage dome sapphire. It's a 37, 38?
It's a 37. It's a typical Japanese size. Like it's it's designed as a men's watch, but it's it's a watch that Ekta and I both wear.
That's why it's got a white strap.
That's why it's got a white strap at this point, because she's wearing it more these days. But then we have the simple removal, easy removal strap out there, so easy to change. But so it's something that I absolutely love, and the dial is really cool because it when the light falls on it, it looks really pretty cool.
A nice sunburst. Yeah. Well, talk of dial, there's another watch here that's all dial, right? It's only famous for the dial, right? And I know you had a multi-year wait list, and you had a beautiful story with this beautiful, deep blue Anordain here, right? With their enameled dial.
Yeah.
How did this happen?
Yeah, I discovered this brand, and when I kind of looked at it, they're one of the few companies that actually make enamel dials in-house, and I think probably the only company outside of Switzerland and Japan to actually make enamel dials in the world, because it takes a lot of it's a handmade dial, right? So it takes a lot of time, effort, and it's also a material that's very susceptible to damages and very susceptible to. They have very strict quality controls, as you can see. So I think it takes them almost 40 or 50 dials to kind of get one kind of right. So that's why the long wait time. I had to wait 2 years for it, but last I checked, the wait on this is 5 years right now. So it's a patient game, but what light does on it is just amazing. Like in different light conditions, it looks very different. And again, and it's really special. I also engraved the initials of my kids and me, my wife and I, so on it, behind it. So one of my kids are going to get it. So let's see.
Well, look, I think anybody would give an arm and a leg to get a hold of this collection here. And this is not even all your watches. Yeah. Many of them we left behind because we could only cover so much and we could only talk about so much, right? We talked about dials. We talked about liking watches that are unique. And there's another watch that I want to talk about that's also unique, and that's something that's on your wrist.
Yeah.
Right now, this is another BWC.
Yes.
This is unique.
Yes.
It's got a special dial.
Yes.
And there's a story behind it.
Yeah.
Tell me about this one.
So I'm going to take it off, but this is the BWC Mark 1X, and it's unique because it's one of 25. So only 25 of these were ever made, and the speciality of this is the dial itself. The dial itself came off actual real plane, right? So an actual MiG, actual MiG-21. So for me, it was an absolute no-brainer. Like when the whole idea concept itself came up, I was like, yeah, I'm taking one. Please reserve one for me. When I told you that. And again, what I really like about is the story, right? Celebrating in India. I mean, we've had a rich history of,
Aviation.
of the aviation, Air Force, and it's ironic that for 70 years nobody even thought of actually, building a watch that celebrated that, right? Sure, occasionally, HMTs there were some, 50-year edition or whatever, but something like a pilot watch from India as a concept, apart from a couple of HMTs, was non-existent. So when this came out, the story was great. The dial, right? I mean, that is something crazy. And I also know the pain you went through to procure the dial and procure just sheets of a real aeroplane, right? I know you almost bought a MiG, but yeah. So and the other thing is one, the dial material, but also the legibility. We were just talking about this before the show, that it's like a daily beater for me. Like especially when I'm driving, if I'm doing long trips on the road with family, vacations. It's very legible, easy to read the time when I'm driving or, I'm in the outdoors. Also a little bit of splash from the pool or from anywhere with the kids, nothing's going to happen to it. The lume is really good. So yeah, absolutely love it. It's the BWC that I've worn the most has the maximum wrist time. And the case back, right? Like no conversation can be over without talking about the beautiful case back. Like it's one of the watches where I love the case back, and where it really talks about the history of the MiG 21s. So yeah.
And again, it's a 7-year-old watch. It's in great shape.
Yeah.
The case looks brilliant.
Yeah.
Crystal is great. You put it on a nice red, bright red, sort of a waterproof rubber strap on 22 mm.
Yeah.
And you said this is your go-to driving watch.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with it. I think you need to know the time when you're driving in just a split second the legibility helps you, right?
Yeah.
It's a brilliant story, and it's one of only 22 pieces now. One sits in the archive, 21 with our customers, and you're one among them.
Yeah.
I'm happy we made this happen.
Yeah.
I'm happy we didn't buy a plane.
Yeah. No, I'm happy too, because then if you bought a plane, then it would have been difficult to...
One of 2,100 pieces.
Yeah. You'll have to sell many more pieces for that.
I can't forget what you said. You said your goal in life is to go to one, like a burner phone, which has no notifications.
Yeah.
If I were to take a wager here and pick a watch that you would wear with that phone in hand, it has to be the Mr. Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like what's it called? It's called the Perfectly Lazy Afternoon?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Useless afternoon. Yeah.
But tell me about this one. This is the most quirky watch, of course, on this table now.
Yeah.
It's got this guy on a pool, literally doing nothing, with a little ducky going around telling you what the minute is.
Yeah.
Well, how did this happen? Like, how did you buy it? And why this? I mean, I know Mr. Jones has multiple other things as well.
I really like the duck going around, and this is to remind me that this is also a goal. Like so someday you want to be that guy, in the tub, in the pool, like doing nothing, right? So I think I found it really quirky, and yes, there are a lot of quirky dials. But the story here is, I actually bought 2 of these watches, and I gifted one of this to Rishi, who's a common friend. And that's why, and I put an engraving at the back saying celebrating laziness since 2010. That's when I first met him. So, I actually bought it as 2 watches and gave him one. But the fact is that it's a brilliant idea, right? Like that they came up with, and it's a simple watch, again independent watch, and again something that it's not very common out there.
Absolutely.
Though it is an affordable kind of watch, it's not very expensive, but you wouldn't see a lot of people wearing this. Yeah.
I don't know of any other person, at least in Bangalore, that I know that has Mr. Jones, at least this one. I've always sort of appreciated the whimsical nature of their designs, and I
yeah.
think this is probably the most whimsical one.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I think this is probably the best watch that you could wear when you're on that burner phone.
Yeah.
Somewhere in a pool.
Correct.
Right, nondescript location. Don't bother me.
Exactly.
I think it's a fantastic watch, right? There's another independent that I want to talk about, right? And this is something that's taken on the internet recently by a huge wave, and that's the Christopher Ward Bell Canto.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised when I picked this up because this is a titanium, right?
Yes.
I mean, super light.
Yeah.
Looks, I mean, it doesn't look as light as it feels.
Yeah.
Well, tell me how this happened. I mean, do you have other Christopher Wards as well?
No. This is the only Christopher Ward I have. Again, when I started discovering independence and micro brands, Christopher Ward obviously is kind of the poster child in some ways of micros. They've been around for a while, and when I discovered them, and in my mind, as you can see, and you've seen in my collection as well, except maybe for BWC, and maybe Rolex, I don't have multiple watches from the same brand.
Yeah.
So my philosophy is just one watch, one brand, one watch from one brand. And so I was planning to buy a Christopher Ward, and then that's when I read that they were working on something like this.
Yes.
And it was in the news, and so I was like, I should wait for it. And when it came out, I was absolutely kind of blown away for the price point. A chiming watch from an independent maker. Yes, they took a existing Celita movement and then built it on top of it. But they've put considerable amount of R&D and work into it. They call it the FS01 movement, I think. But yeah, it's really cool. Every hour it chimes. And there's also a button where you can switch off the chime if you want, if you don't like it. And there are multiple dial colors, but I like it in the salmon.
Yeah.
They call it rosé or rosa, I think. Rosa.
It's more like a salmon champagne type, right?
Yeah.
And I want to see if people watching this can get the sound. So just hold on. Let me see if I can get this. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, one more time. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? I love it. I love what they've done. The simplicity of it. At the same time, the sophistication of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes when you look at a chiming watch or a minute repeater,
Yeah.
it's just the case is too complicated. This one's actually quite a simple case architecture, but they've managed to do something incredible. Right?
Yeah.
I love this watch, and I think it goes on to talk
as you
about.
can see, it's like a bird. You see that, right? Like so, this is like the bird.
Yeah. The beak.
The eyes, and then it's the
brilliant.
The tail of it, which kind of makes the sound. Yeah.
It's brilliant, right? Well, Sid, for the longest time I've known you, you've been a man that's behind a black box. No social media, no Twitter, no Facebook, no Instagram, nothing at all. And today, watch collecting has become a lot about sort of chest thumping on social media. What's the newest allocation somebody got, right? What keeps you going, man? There's no social media.
Yeah, I think before I answer that question, I should say this. I told Ekta, my wife, that my aim in life is to get to a point where I only have a Nokia 1100 phone, like a dumb phone. Nobody can contact, nobody can reach out to me. And if they need, they just have to call me or SMS me, right? And that's because, I think there's just too much of digital, influence on our lives, and we've forgotten how we lived when these things didn't exist. Simple thing, right? When you're driving through the city, if you're being driven, yet you're on your phone the whole time, like scrolling or whatever, right? You're not looking outside the window and seeing what's happening. So I think for me, that is kind of very important, but of course, you have to work, you have to earn. So I do have a smartphone, and I am on WhatsApp. But yeah, no social media. Never, and the fact is that a lot of people ask, so you had something, you had a Facebook account, then you shut it down. I'm like, no, never had one, right? Never really felt the need for one, actually. That's the fact of it. And coming back to the question, the second part of the question, which is about, hey, it's all about allocations, chest thumping and all that. For me, the biggest thing is, The dopamine high is when I wear the watch and when I look at it every day or every hour or at the end of the day, there is a high. And for me, it's a very personal high, right? It's it's a personal thing for me. And as a matter of fact, this is the first time, I even have brought my watches out publicly, right? A lot of my close family also don't know that I own these watches, right? My mom's going to call me asking me what I've been up to when she sees this. But the fact for me is this is very personal and it stays very close to my heart. So I keep it right there. And there was a point in life when I learned that it does not matter what somebody kind of thinks of who you are or what you are. What really matters is what do you think about yourself, about who you are and what you are, right? So for me, that's very important, right? Within my own benchmark or within my own yardstick, it's important to know where I stand. And so, and hence, there is no social media, and I think there will not be one. So.
And I can guarantee you that your decision making and judgment is better than mine because you're not on social media. So you're not losing anything.
Yes. Hope so. But
no, you're not. Well, look, man, this is a phenomenal collection in front of us, right? It's so diverse. It's got some serious knockout pieces. It's got some super cool independents, something like a Mr. Jones on one end and something like a Rolex OP on the other end and a Bell Canto on the entirely different dimension. It's been incredible to finally sit down and have a chance to talk about your watches, your collection, and your philosophy of acquiring these watches. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you continue collecting like this.
Yeah.
And I hope we can sit down a few years from now and do this again.
Likewise, Sanjay. I appreciate the time and appreciate that I could come here and talk to you about these watches. It's been a privilege, it's great to be here and to do this. Yeah, thanks so much.
Fantastic. Yeah. Cheers.
Cool.